So, as per the last video that you guys watched, a bit of a somber tale. I am pulling, this is the only bale ring in the yearlings pens that has these spars, and that's what I think did it. The calf went to go through one of the bars and put one of its back legs through one of those bars, got stuck, and then one of the other calves or whatever got fighting with it and it fell down, and as soon as it sat down it did that. So I went and grabbed one of these from the cow's pen, and I'm going to replace this one, that way it doesn't happen again. And just so you know, the little soul has been euthanized. It was in a lot of pain. It was doing that sort of shaking thing, and realistically, even if we were going to try and get it to the vet, even just the trauma of loading it up, I think would literally have killed it. So, like I said, in this business you take your lumps and you move on. We had minus 41 this morning at daybreak. So yeah, that's definitely would have been pleasant for the wee soul. So I came out and did it as soon as possible. Yeah, this tractor has issues. When it's really cold like this, for whatever reason, the loader hydraulics go very, very stiff. Weirdly enough, the rear hydraulics, like running the Bale processor, strong, quick, but the loader, no. Something to do with the front end hydraulics. I think they said there's 2 systems on this. So between the steering and the clutch and the loader, if you use more than one at a time, when it's cold, it kicks out. So yeah, I'm just going to try and drop this. Close enough. So yeah, note to self and everybody, next season when we're weaning, remind me of this. Don't use any of these spar bale rings. Yeah, don't want to do this again. Yeah, that shows you. That was cleaned in the middle of January by Liam, because we were checking everything over while it was still mild. And yeah, fingers crossed. Water troughs are doing okay. The Bale one, we had an issue this morning, and the reason I could tell was the bulls were eating snow. And I went over, and it was basically just the little, oh sorry, the little valve in the float had just frozen up a tiny little bit. I just gave it a bang, and whoosh, off it went. So yeah. So anyway, I gotta go and deal with our wee soul and get rid of that. I'll bring you back when something nicer happens. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we're on the move again. It is currently minus a bazillion. Not a Brazilian, a bazillion. That's a measurement where if you stay out too long or you get wet and be out here, you will die. You'll just die. That trough is currently not working. Yeah. Another one bites the dust. And by dust I mean snow, and by bites I mean frostbite. So yeah, that's fun. The only saving grace is there's only one cow left in this pen, and old Bones still looking for an idea with her. But pretty much what we're going to do is, once this crushes out of here and we start taking the panels away to let the cows in, because the cows will be shut in by Valentine's Day, I covered that already, then old Bones can come across here and drink from the bull's trough. But as of Monday, I think, we're supposed to be back into the minus single digits. And then I think it was supposed to be around about 0 for half of the week. So that's when you will get me probably in the next video having adult temper tantrums. So we're going to move this back over to where it was over there when we did the processing of the calves. Because I think next week, according to our buyer, are hoping to set up to take them next week. Well, it's nice, and that would be great. So now I'm going to try and thread this needle, and most people will be like, but Piper Doug, there's a drawbar on the crush. Why are you not using the drawbar? Well, to tell you the truth, I find it is easier, especially easier when you're not filming at the time. I find it easier to manipulate this thing in and out of gateways with the loader. What would be great would be to have like a hookup for the old skidder steer. See if we turn it and see the bum comes around. Giggity. Just got to make sure it keeps coming around because that tail end can whip pretty bad. And we're through. So this is the hard part. That wasn't the hard part. Yeah, I know. The hard part is I now have to come back to here and then thread the crush back into there. Because there is no room to drive it in there and then turn it. No way, Jose. No way, Jose, nah. Sorry, that was a really bad impersonation of a... Sorry to all the Spanish people out there who don't watch my videos. Anyway. So yeah. Maybe I should just stop filming this and do it and then bring you back. And go like, yeah, look, it magically happened in one foul swoop. One foul swoop, I managed to thread this very big needle into this tiny... Your dirty minds are just going to terrible place, especially you BP. Stop that, I heard that. Dirty mind. Dirty mind. So yeah, as you saw in the last video, detwined and serviced. As I said, I tried to stick to the per month. And the funny part is, the processor will actually start telling you it needs cleaned. And no, that's not some weird things talk to me. Though I do, like, you know, talk to the cows and such like. You'll notice, especially when doing denser bales, like my third cut alfalfa bales, they were sort of high moisture and then they froze, so they're really dense. Denser than me, actually. So what'll end up happening is, as you're processing the bales, you'll actually feel it really tug hard. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset this chain because I'm not in the center anymore.
You're not in the center anymore, Dorothy.
Back up. Drop and back up. That way I can jiggy and jiggy. I gotta remember, you guys are not looking where I'm looking. Okay, I think up. So yeah, you'll really start to feel it pull on the RPMs. Of course, people that run processors on tractors with 150, 160 horse, well, I'm gonna have to let the spikes down because I'm gonna hit the tree. Yeah, I know. Pardon me, somebody was having a good laugh at me. I'm the only person that builds trees into my fence lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, unless you're the kind of people that have 150 to 180 horsepower tractors on the Bale processors, this is a common occurrence. I know with the Bale Kings, they really are. Speaking of trees, speaking of them, they're trees, because I am technically a tree hugger. I hug cows too, but I like to As you saw, I was cleaning out a lot of the dead stand on that side of the squirrel. Oh, it's taking off. Oh, jeepers. So yeah, we just ordered 1,000 more trees. That's getting kind of close over there. There we go. Wiggly woo. So yeah, I've ordered 500 Scots pine and 500 more cotton poplar hybrids. Now the reason we're going with that variety, if I can think, I'll put pictures in here. So yeah, that's what we planted on the half section grain field. And talk about crazy growth in a short period of time for shelter and fitting into the big master plan of our farm plan for the next 5 years. So yeah, this side of the yard's gonna have 2 or 3 rows all the way around the lagoon, and then there's a row that goes straight east of here. There's a fence, and then there's a few trees. People might have noticed it when I'm out in that neck of the woods there. There used to be trees in there, but the year that we planted, it was so dry. So we're going to try that again. It's supposed to be fairly damp this summer, so it'd be a great year to put in trees. And then all the paddocks up here in this field, a lot, but probably 50% of them didn't make it in that lot. Some of that was some technical issues with the people that were farming the field. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have a go at that, except those were all poplars and such. Now I'm going with evergreens because I really like the evergreens and blah blah blah. So yeah, I blabbed on. Wow, over 8 minutes. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get on. Here we have it. Whole bunch of jiggling and in and outs and in and jumping around and oh yeah. Start getting some of the beams up. Wanted to try and get started with that before we go to the warm weather. That way I can spend all my time on that when it's warm. But no, water trough once sometime. Oh, I tell you. But it's nice to start seeing that. Like, only another 28 to go. Yeah, so we're still doing it. So we've done the whole width of the field to that side doing this. So basically about a quarter the length of the paddock is what a pair of bales will do. So that's a pair of bales right there. So this is the third cut alfalfa, which is like really good quality, but the bales were high moisture, so they froze. Because we've tried feeding them in a bale ring and the cows have a hard time really pulling them apart. But the reason that we're doing this, because all the rest of the time the cows are getting some of that low quality rained on hay. So they're getting low quality rained on hay and some of that green feed oats, and then alternating to this stuff. So that way that it balances out to like fairly decent quality. Don't want to give them too much alfalfa a month before calving, but that's why we're balancing it out. That and the fact that we have to run these bales through the processor because yeah, they'll have a hard time taking it apart. So all I do is put the bucket down, even without front wheel assist. As long as I have bales in the processor, it gives me enough traction just to shave the ground. It's not like I'm taking off molehills or anything like that. Just enough to get the snow out of the way, and they don't leave anything behind. There's no, like, you could be, if I could show you, because we had some more snow blow in last night, as you can see, the tracks beyond them are filled in. That's the downside. That's why I don't plow too many rows ahead of what I need, because they fill in. And that's another basic part to why this is so good. You plow this out, the animals eat out here, they pee and poop out here on the ground, and then when you get the next snow and blow, it fills in, so now you're getting more snow trapped out here to drop the natural nitrates into the ground, because there is some, it's been proven, there is actually nitrates that come out of snow and rain. So, benefits, big benefits to strip grazing, except this is mechanical strip grazing instead of swath grazing. So yeah, like I said, for the next 2 weeks, we will keep working the way across here, and then they'll get shut in, because I don't like chancing calves being born out here. Like right now it's minus 30 before the wind chill. Now 3 days from now it's supposed to be nice. So yeah, it's a bonny sight. It's a bonny sight. Well, that escalated rather quickly. Yeah, I know this is rather sketchy. Should have metal stands. I don't have metal stands. I do have a lot of 6x6 treated post cut-offs. So between leaving that there, loader down, and those blocks pointing in every direction, and the back wheel's chopped, and the baler's right there, shouldn't go anywhere. So, as per the guys up at Show Lake said, drop your fluids, which, that's quite the porridge. So yeah, drop the fluids. I've disconnected, because it looks like the steering, what do they call that? It's not a ram. It's a steering, oh gosh, it'll come to me. Anyway, so that is attached to the axle. Yeah, I was looking at it to see if I can just unbolt it. As far as I can tell, it's all one. I might, once I drop it, I might be able to figure it out. But till then, it's all coming out as one. So yeah, I got to unbolt the front pivot block, and I've got to unbolt these parts off the, because it's part of the front engine. It comes down from the front engine mount. So the front engine mount and the rear axle is the same thing. But the one thing that I didn't realize till I started doing this, I don't want to wiggle it too bad. There's a lot of play in that. So that's what the axle rotates on. So I'm thinking it's the bushings are worn out in that. Front's good, the back's not. I did notice there's a lot of grease nipples on this tractor that were happy to see me, I'll put it that way. So, hoses are off, dropping the fluids. I'm leaking fluids everywhere. Now it's just a case of jacking this whole thing up, the whole axle up onto blocks, and then dropping the front and rear off, and then letting it down side by side onto the ground, dragging it out, throwing it in the back of the truck, and taking it to Show Lake Farm Equipment for all your agri needs. Hey! So yeah, that's where we're at. Oh yeah, and to add another job to the list. Yeah. How's that for corrosion? Oh, I knew that, because I put a piece of 1/2-inch plastic board in there for the batteries to sit on. No, what I've learned, yeah, you can't tell how much coolant is in this tractor because the coolant bottle is no longer see-through. Yeah, that's awesome. No, what I've come to know is this thing has a bad block heater. That guy. Yeah. Plugged it in today, went to start it, it's cold as a dodo. I'd realized that when I was out yesterday feeding the cows, if I didn't keep the RPMs up, the cab got cold really quick and the hydraulics cooled off really quick. So that was leading me to believe that the coolant wasn't doing what it was supposed to. But the fact that it was minus 30 means the tractor was not overheating. So I topped it up to get me in here. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to order one of those. This one only has, I don't know if there's anywhere you can put one in for the transmission. It'd be nice to have one. There might be a spot there. Like the Fords, like BCP trucking, because we used to have those T6s. That was a nice thing. They had dual plugins. That way when you started it up, you didn't have to cycle to get the hydraulics up to speed. So, yeah. Oh, what a gloopy mess. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, I tried to do this so I still have room to bring things in here. They said the last of the parts will be in Monday. So, fingers crossed, Monday, I can take this straight up the road and they'll get right cracking at it. I'm done cleaning all the parts for the garden tractor so I can start final assembly once this guy's taken apart. And that's all just hope to high heck that the tractor's still sitting on blocks when I come out tomorrow to work on it. I'm terrible for names. One of my fantastic subscribers said about cracking the back door open so that I can work on the rear of the bands. I've known this for a while. The O-rings in the line lock are pooched because the many times that I would be in there cleaning net wrap off that roller, didn't matter if it was plugged into the tractor or it was not, yeah, it would just slowly close. So yeah, the O-rings are, I know it's a piston. Like there's like 4 O-rings, there's 2 at one end and, is it 2? 1 at either end and 1 in the middle? I can't remember. I haven't done a John Deere one. I've done Morris, I've done a couple other ones, but I've never done a John Deere one. They're straightforward. You just take the circlips off and fire the piston right out through. Make a mess in the process. But, as you can see, not 2x4s, but the 2x6s, cut to measure. Yeah, right back. Now, I'm probably gonna get into trouble because I wasn't really thinking. That's not technically, it is the frame. That is the frame. Or is it? No, it is the frame. That is the frame. There's that, and then there's the square bar there. Yeah, we're good. We're good, people. So, that back door's not going anywhere. I don't plan on being in there too long, but I'm just gonna zap all of the bolts off the bands and drop them out. My accelerator fingers are in fairly good shape. There's 1 or 2 missing. As you can see right in the middle of the screen, there's 1 missing. I do know they're sharp enough because I've cut myself plenty of times. Oh, so yeah, I've done pretty good at picking up rocks, but when baling on my renter's land, I've hit some tree stumps and roots and stuff that he was pushing bush on. So yeah, I do have some modified rings, but they're ready to be changed. Most of them, I would say. Fingers are pretty well worn down, but like I said, I think the bearings on the little timing wheels at either end are pooched. So that's where we're at. Okay. I think I'm done for the night. I'm gonna go and have a shower and wash the broken stuff off me. Hope there's not too much of a mess in the morning. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. These rams, I need seal kits in both of these rams, and these rams here are needing it. These ones are desperately needing it. Yeah. Anyway, job at hand. Well, it's separated, so now I'm just trying to let it down without it becoming a violent affair. So take the block out, block out, block out, block out till it's on the ground. So the one thing that I have found out is it's not been getting greased uniformly. The grease have been stuffing at the back and not coming all the way around the bushing. So good thing is that that's a replaceable bushing. I'm just hoping there's not too much damage on that. This one here, yeah, we know this one's been getting greased, but same thing again, it's kind of a little bit elliptical. So this bushing will need replaced too. I think that part's fairly good because that's part of the outer diff casing. So yeah, there's a good look at the splines or lack thereof. Yeah. So yeah, as it looks, I still don't see where the steering comes off. So it's all coming down as one until I know better. Okay. Bit by bit. Oh, I tell you. What am I telling you? Oh, I'm telling you a lot of things. Oh. So. Nice shiny metal. Now, if any of you will remember back to way back in the middle of summer or early summer, this broke. The pin sheared right off the end. Now, we talked about it back then, that there's no grease nipples on these. And the broken one, which is still sitting over there, it was fully greased, it just sheared off. That was the weird part. But, you know, greasable would be great. Then there's these. These also would be beneficial if they could maybe take grease. Now most people would be like, well, they don't do a lot of moving. That's true. They don't do a whole heck of a lot. It just moves back and forward as that hub turns back and forward. Because this doesn't go anywhere. It's bolted right to, yes, I found out it's bolted to the axle. But bone dry in there and waggly loose. But then again, what came first? The broken gator or bone dry? Don't know. So that's her. That's her ready to go. I was going to take the steering, is it transit? Is that what they call it? Steering transit? Matrix? I don't know. But those Allen bolts they're in there. I got one started to turn, but I was scared I was going to shear it off. And I figured if they want to take the hubs off, they can just pop the controller arms out like I've done there. I think it's way easier than trying to mess with that. Though I do think they have to take those bolts out. Yeah, they're gonna have to drop that off to get that diff out. But I'd far rather they did it than me. Because if something goes wrong, I don't want me to be the one fixing it. What we have noticed is that pin is in bad shape. Yeah, it's pretty bad worn, and I don't know if that's a bushing. It might be, because it feels kind of like a ridge around the outside. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure that's a bushing, because you can kind of see there. This one is bad. Like, the bushing is actually loose already, but that's where the damage is on that. And it almost looks like it's been wangled out before and they've just fired a bushing in there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like they pushed a bushing in there and just let it take the space, because that's a bushing and then there's a worn out. So yeah, it looks like they did this once before. And instead of building it up, or even cutting a piece of a bushing to make the worn part and then putting a new bushing on top of it, they just fired it in there and just let her go. Damn it. Well, we'll see what the shop says tomorrow. I'm hoping, I'm gonna call them tomorrow. We'll get it up the road. So, if I don't bring you back, that'll do for this episode. I think I've caused quite enough havoc as it is. Once this is gone, then these rams are getting dropped off. I can do the seal kit on rams, that's not a big deal. So that will be one of the projects in the next video. And then we'll be dropping the coolant, doing that block heater, because that's quite important. When we go to do these seals, that hose needs to be changed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of the issues, because I think they're both the same. Yeah, that one's dirty too. This one looks like it's newer. So yeah, because those ones are under the tightest. Can you see? Can you see in there? Those ones are under the tightest trouble. And yeah, this one's wet too, but not as bad. But we'll see where we get to. Gosh, it's gonna be a whole damn new tractor by the time we're done. Well, it's a new year. Let's just rack up the repair bills already. Okay, it's time to go in for the night. What is it? I think it's 10:15. Okay, tune in next time. Teddy bye.